Little Mama, Big Mama, Girl Boss, and Boss Bitch.
Echo is a diversity wet dream, Marvel character from the modern comic book age.
Yeah!
I've stated numerous times that I've given up on modern Marvel after the Secret Invasion, and so far, I've yet to regret it. Read anime, it's so much better. Part of me wants to be biased towards Echo, considering that she is native and of Latin descent. I can totally relate.
This is modern Marvel writing. Lopez's father was William Crazy Horse Lincoln. The odds of someone being named Tushunka Wiko is so thin. It'd be like meeting a Chinese dude nicknamed Bruce Lee. That just don't make any sense. Literally, the writer was like, famous Native American, Crazy Horse. Jesus Christ.
Some elements of the show remind me of my own childhood, but I know when a show is designed to manipulate me emotionally, and when it's poorly written at that. This show has all the common tropes of bad modern Western writing. The fact that they try to get some sort of empathy or emotion out of you very quickly by killing off characters or making the hero seem incredibly tragic off the rip, without you being able to connect with the characters that have been killed or established just so recently. It makes everything mean absolutely nothing in its unearned emotional investment. But that's just me giving my 2 cents. Echo is a show that even Disney itself had little to no faith in. They dumped all the episodes in one day. Whereas to a show like She-Hulk, which they thought would be an absolute banger, they made us watch it weekly.
That reminds me, Disney had a complete review embargo till the show launched.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we come to the part of the program which is always my favorite, because it means something.
When you're hurt, you deserve the best at your side. Your injuries could be worth millions. Insurance companies often lowball clients. God knows it's happened to me. Morgan & Morgan will fight to get you the money you deserve. Morgan & Morgan has more verdicts than any firm in America. Insurance companies know it. Now you do too. The firm does not settle for lowball offers. Just in the past couple of months, Morgan & Morgan saw more verdicts of $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer. The firm is not afraid to go to court and fight for the biggest award possible to compensate you. It only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case. The fee is absolutely free unless you win. Did you know you could start a claim for America's largest injury firm in just a click? It's so easy. You can start a claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/itsagundam. Echo hits every modern trope for a strong boss babe character. She acts like a dude with a chip on her shoulder the size of Yankee Stadium throughout the entire show before she does a complete 180 at the end and becomes like a therapist, but we'll get into that later. Now, if Echo was a man, she would have been considered toxic, since all the traits she's shown are considered toxic masculinity. But since she's a woman, it's empowering. Remember that, you filthy bigot!
Seriously though, Stu, while watching Echo, I had Dennis Reynolds energy.
Echo can beat up men twice her size. And she can beat up groups of men all at once, with an action montage fight scene to boss babe music. When the beat drops, you know the bitch doesn't stop. Male characters in Echo are either really evil or really stupid,
because every man in a position of power will immediately become a sexual predator.
and emasculated, or they have little to no agency. The one dude named Biscuit on the res. Are they on the res? Who cares? He seems like a cheerleader as soon as he sees Maya. And of course, his dog is named Billy Jack.
That's Billy Jack. This is Maya. She's our cousin. She's good people.
For those who don't know the reference of Billy Jack, it was a 1970s action film starring a half Native American character doing karate and beating the hell out of white people and bigots. So it's kind of like this show now.
I'm not gonna lie, Stu. There was a time when I wanted a hat like Billy Jack, and now that I've been reminded of it, I might just go buy one.
I'm wondering if you saw this. There was a journalist that went viral recently for suggesting, or basically asking, if Echo and Kahori both needed to exist within the MCU, which is...
Did they really ask that?
They absolutely did, and it was so egregious. I was just wondering if you had...
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
With Captain Carter in Season 1, who's back here again,
Season 2 introduces another new character to the MCU, Kahori, who is basically Tesseract Pocahontas. In fact, the beginning of her episode reminds me so much of the beginning of that Disney animated movie. Now, I wasn't sure about her at first. Should we have this character and Echo who's coming up, right? But I have to say, Kahori is super cool, and super powerful. So powerful. Some people I suspect will say she might be overpowered, but I mean, I don't know. It's so cool to watch her work. I don't care. So now I'm like, do we really need Echo now that we have Kahori? I mean, sure, of course, we could keep both characters. It would be wonderful to have more than one Native American character. In fact,
a reaction, and if you could explain why it's important to have multiple Native characters in a project.
I mean, would somebody go up to a white guy and say, like, this is the one perspective for a white story that there is out there? Like, would somebody go and say that? That's egregious. That's insane that anybody would say that.
Oh no. Anyway.
Echo's original powers in the comic books was that she was kind of like a mimic from Pokemon. So if she saw Bruce Lee fighting, or if she was fighting Bruce Lee, she could emulate his fighting style almost identically. Or if she saw Eddie Van Halen rip Eruption on the guitar, she could not only do it, but slightly better, because she's a woman. You bigot! Even Marvel describes her original powers as
Echo can duplicate any physical action that she sees, ranging from musical performances and ballet to martial arts and weapon use. She's able to mimic the fighting styles of others much stronger than herself. She's a highly talented pianist, music composer, artist, ballet dancer, boxer, martial artist, and markswoman in combat. She sometimes wields conventional pistols.
Echo is literally Prince.
Guns that fire poisonous machetes, a billy club, and a shuriken throwing stars. Like,
who the hell would know what a shuriken was? Basically, you could tell Echo was made by someone at Marvel in the modern age. She's got like the same energy as American Chavez, where she comes from the lesbian planet in an alternate universe where there's no men. So the MCU version of Echo has magic Native American powers, only granted to women, of course. Maya has cripple girl magic. I can't even tell you what her magic powers are, or what they do, because it isn't really locked down or defined ever. So this gives the writers of the MCU the ability to kind of make her do anything. One minute the magic powers make her like incredibly strong, but then the next they can heal people. Like the Force, after Kathleen Kennedy took it over. She's basically Rey Skywalker, if she was part of the First Nation. I'm assuming this show was meant to launch in tandem with Daredevil Born Again. But as we all know, Daredevil was removed, like Maya's leg.
Who the f does that? These poor bastard kids had their whole life ahead of them.
Fight scenes have less impact than a choreographed lightsaber duel at Comic-Con. And I'm not being facetious either. The Daredevil fight is a perfect example of how little they cared. Not to mention how Maya goes from having a prosthetic leg to a real one because I guess the VFX artist forgot to edit in a peg leg.
Success!
Another issue I have with the show is that Echo suffers from far too many pointless flashbacks to magic Native women of the past. Why? I don't know. So they can set up a cringe ending where Maya gives cripple girl magic to her kidnapped female family members, when the grandmother who looked like she could barely handle a strong wind threw two gigantic bodyguards up into the air. I had to walk out of the room. It was time for firewater. Oh, by the way, before the magic fight scene, and at the end of the show, Echo's mother comes back from the dead to remind her daughter that she is part of an echo of women that came before her, which is a reoccurring theme in the show. Hey, did you know her name is Echo? By the way, I always thought Echo was a stupid name for a deaf character. But then again, you know, it's like calling a tall guy Smurf. After Cripple Girl Magic wins the day, Echo uses her newfound powers that aren't really defined to heal Kingpin's heart in this odd therapy session. I don't get it. He literally was about to kill her grandmother and cousin and admitted to killing her father. Kingpin had her father killed in the comic, and then he blamed it on Daredevil, which I guess instead of having her go after Daredevil for all this time, they had her going after Ronan. Man, you gotta watch all these MCU shows to know what the hell they changed, and it's really not worth your life force or your time. For real, dude. Moving on, because I don't care to do this longer than I have to. This is a female-focused show, and it's painfully obvious from the continuity errors to the fight scenes a heavy reliance on Native American magic themes and mysticism, to boss babe energy scenes, useless men, and a healthy dose of
intersectional feminism,
feelings and healing and forgiveness. Randomly, by the way. She just goes from I'm ready to kill this guy to I'm going to now heal you. Like, huh? But whatever. Echo is the MCU in a nutshell. That's the best way to sum it up. I don't think there'll be a season 2 for this, to be real with you. But to just talk about something I actually enjoy for a change. There's an anime that I'm absolutely loving right now, and it's called Frieren. I probably got her name wrong, or Frieren, which is also a female-focused show where the main characters are women. But the difference is night and day with the storytelling, the character development, to relate to, understand, and empathize with these characters, because this show is just so well written and heartfelt and moving. And it even tackles the idea of loss and death, retracing one's own past to better understand themselves and the people you once knew. Whereas to Echo is modern Marvel and Disney Plus. They think they're doing something revolutionary, great, and empowering, but it's really just insipid and contrived. By the way, if you want to see a good Native American story, go watch Smoke Signals, dude. Like, for real. And I know that's kind of like the default, go see Smoke Signals, but it's a good film from the 90s that was obviously made by Native Americans. And that is heartfelt, touching, moving, and there's just so much there that it's literally an hour and 30-minute movie, but you get so much more out of it.
Well, quit grinning like an idiot. Indians ain't supposed to smile like that. Get stoic. You gotta look like you just came back from killing a buffalo.
But our tribe never hunted buffalo. We were fishermen.
This ain't Dances with Salmon, you know.